Equivalent trigonometric expressions, question 12. Given that sine pi by 12 is approximately equals to 0.2588, determine cos 5 pi by 12 and cos 7 pi by 12. Okay, so I will show you the graphical way of doing this, right? It's kind of graphical because I'm trying to draw these angles here. So that's my coordinate plane, and I will represent pi by 12 here on the coordinate plane. So when we say pi by 12, that means we have to divide this pi into 12 equal parts. So when we do that, we get 6 in quadrant 1 and 6 in quadrant 2. So let's divide it. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this becomes the sixth one, right? And then we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12th one. So those are my 6 equal parts, kind of, right? So let me draw these lines. So we have, so each is pi by 12. So this is 1 pi by 12, 2 pi by 12, 3 pi by 12, 4 pi by 12, 5 pi by 12, and that is the 6th pi by 12, right? And that I will draw 7th pi by 12. Since we are interested up to 7 pi by 12, I'll draw these for the moment, right? So what do we see here? So each is pi by 12. So this is pi by 12 for us, correct? And that is, I should write 6 pi by 12. Let me write 6 pi by 12, which is pi by 2, right? Which is also pi by 2, right? 6 pi by 12. Now, we know sine pi by 12 and we want to find cos 5 pi by 12. How are they related? Look here. 1 pi by 12 plus 5 pi by 12 will give me 6 pi by 12. Do you see that? We can write this as cos of 5 pi by 12 is equals to cos of pi by 2 minus pi by 12. Do you see that? Because 5 pi by 12, so this becomes 5 pi by 12. Do you see that? And 1 pi by 12. Do you see that? Pi by 12. Do you get it? So cos 5 pi by 12, or look at it like this. So we have pi by 12, 2, 3, 4, and that is 5 pi by 12. Is that okay? So this angle is what we are talking about. Cos 5 pi by 12. So cos 5 pi by 12 is pi by 2 minus this pi by 12. Each is pi by 12, correct? Is that okay? So this angle 5 pi by 12 is same as pi by 2 minus pi by 12. Do you get it? So we get it from the graph. You could have done algebraically also, right? How will you do algebraically? You'll do like this. You write 5 pi by 12 is equal to pi by 2 minus some angle which you don't know, which you want to find. So because you didn't draw this, right? So you don't know. And therefore, alpha, this angle, is equal to pi by 2 minus 5 pi by 12. That is the algebraic method which I am teaching you, right? So these are two different ways of doing the same thing. Finding it from this kind of a sketch or doing it algebraically like this. Both are same, right? So from here we can take 12 as common denominator and we get 6 pi minus 5 pi, which gives me pi by 12. Do you see that? So 5 pi by 12 is equals to pi by 2 minus pi by 12. Pi by 2 minus. So we get the same thing. Do you see that? Now, we are in quadrant 1, correct? In quadrant 1, sine, cosine, both are positive, right? And therefore, this is a cofunction identity. Pi by 2 minus pi by 12 is equal to sine pi by 12, right? So what is sine pi by 12? It is given to us, 0.2588. So the value of cos of 5 pi by 12 is 0.2588. So that is the first answer. Now let's do the next one, which is cos of 7 pi by 12. Now 7 happens to be here, right? So let me use a different ink and let's do 7 pi by 12. That is 7 pi by 12, correct? So it could be written as, now you can do your math like this, but the difference here will be, let me do it here. You say 7 pi by 12 is, you don't know, you'll write pi by 2 plus some angle, right? So let me write angle alpha. So what is alpha equals to? So say, well, alpha is equal to 7 pi by 12 minus pi by 2. So that is a neat method, minus pi by 2. We take common denominator of 12 and they say 7 pi minus 6 pi, which is pi by 12. And therefore, I could write 7 pi by 12 as pi by 2 plus alpha, correct? So we get cos of pi by 2 plus alpha. Now cos is in second quadrant, correct? Now you remember the cos rule. So these are two things which are very important. One, angle we have to figure out, and second is the quadrant. Now, well, we know now we are in quadrant 2. So cos has to be negative, correct? So we'll write this as negative, correct? Because alpha is acute angle where all trigonometric ratios are positive. So we'll do this. And since it is pi by 2 plus alpha, it is a cofunction identity and it becomes sine alpha, right? Sine alpha. And our alpha is pi by 12. So I should write sine pi by 12, correct? So that is what it is. Alpha is pi by 12. I should have written here, I will write here now. This is same as, because we found alpha to be pi by 12, correct? So we'll write here as cos of pi by 2 plus pi by 12, correct? And then we'll go to this, correct? 0.2588, correct? So that is how we can find our solution, right? So let me clearly write down our answers right here. And so we have the solutions now. And cos 5 pi by 12 is equals to 0.2588, but cos 7 pi by 12 is equals to minus of 0.2588, since this is in quadrant 2, right? Have a clear look at it, and that's how we are going to do it. Okay, thank you.